Welcome to another episode of the DVO show. I hope you guys had a great Independence Day weekend that we just came out of. I know that I did. It was a really fun time with my family, just getting outside, being at the parks, watching everyone being in such a good mood. We had a blast. I hope you did too. Hope you guys are just making memories and having a great summer so far. Even though the heat is heating up, where I'm at, it's getting pretty hot. It's getting close to triple digits, but making the most of it, all right? Anyway, this episode, I want to talk about a common phrase, a phrase I'm sure you have probably heard before. The phrase is this: the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe the grass is greener on the other side. But what I want to talk to you about on this episode is that the grass is greener where you water it. So let's get into a little bit more detail about what I'm talking about. So I shouldn't say always, but we're always kind of judging what we see, all right? Especially in this day and age when there's social media. You look at people's Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is where they're posting pictures, and you see the lifestyle that they're trying to portray. Some of it's real, some of it's fake. We know that. We all know that. I hope you know that. If you don't know that, there's a lot of fake people out there, okay? And they're trying to portray something that they are not, or that a life that they are not living, but they want it to look like so. Hey, whatever it is, I ain't gonna hate on it. I might call you out, but I'm not gonna hate on it. Anyway, we see these things, right? And we want maybe a certain lifestyle. Maybe we want a certain relationship. Maybe we want a certain house, certain type of child, certain friendships, certain circle of friends. Whatever it is, we see these things and we want something like that. I get it. There's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because you know what? Maybe the grass is greener somewhere else. You don't know. But what I want to talk specifically about on this episode is that the grass is greener, though, where you water it, where you put your effort, where you put your time into it. Maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's friends, maybe it's a significant other, maybe it's a career, maybe it's a job, whatever it is. I want you to think about this, all right? Things happen to us, and we can control two things. Number one, how we react to that, and number two, our attitude about it. Those are the two things we can control. Everything else is out of our control. Things happen and it's out of our control. There's nothing we can do. It has maybe already happened. We just have to deal with it. Okay? So the grass isn't always greener on the other side. We hear this all the time. Maybe someone's telling us not to do something. I don't know, whatever the situation is. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Maybe you're in a toxic relationship. Maybe it's time to get out of the relationship. Or maybe you're in a relationship that you're not watering. You're not putting the time into it. Maybe you spend more time on your phone than talking with the other person. I go to restaurants all the time with my wife, and I see couples that they're sitting across from each other, but they're both on their phones. I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what they're talking about. I know sometimes me and my wife, we're talking about something and we have an idea and we look at our phone because we're looking up the information. Thanks, Google, for providing us with information of the world and answers. But, that's something that we'll do. But that is only a few minutes, and then we're back into our conversation and we're holding hands and we're talking. But I'll see some people that are just the whole time. They even, when the food comes out, they put their phone away, but they're just sitting in silence looking at their food. It's like, I don't know why you guys are here. I don't know if this is a blind date. I don't know if you're just sick of your relationship. I don't know. But please, you're making me uncomfortable. And it's sad. So, for example, talking about relationships, if you're not happy in a relationship, if it's a toxic relationship, yes, the grass is green on the other side. Get out of that relationship. There's plenty more out there for you. But if it's just a point where it's a boredom thing, right? You're a too comfortable type situation, then you need to water that. Finding another relationship is not going to be the answer if it's you. If you're the problem, you're not going to find the answer with another relationship, right? You need to focus on watering that relationship, blossoming that relationship. Maybe go somewhere else to eat, have a different type of a date, come up with different conversations, find the spark again. That's the type of things. Maybe go on a nice walk holding hands and you can just talk and get your feelings out there. Whatever. I'm just saying the grass is greener where you water it. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you're the problem. Maybe it's a career choice. Maybe you're at a job that you just really don't like. Yeah, right. A lot of people are not always happy with their jobs. I get that, and they kind of work there, and they might not be happy at any job. But if it's a environment that's just not helping you grow, it's not helping you be better, then maybe the grass is greener on the other side, and you need to find another job, or maybe you need to find a way to water that and talk to your supervisor and say, hey, I think I'm better suited for this. I think this would be a good role for me. Help me get to that position. I think I would be a good leader as well, like you are. How do I get a job similar to yours here? Can you nurture me? Can you guide me? Can you help me? And so what I'm talking about is just taking where you're at and making the best of it. Or constantly be seeking out the best version. Like, let's go back to the job example, right? If you're not happy there, do something about it, right? You can't control that. The fact that you're not happy there, you can't control, right? Something is not making you happy. So there's two things you can control about that: how you react to it and your attitude about it. So if you're just gonna have a negative attitude and just have a victim mentality, you're just gonna be stuck there. But if you have an attitude like, I deserve better, I can do better, I can reach higher levels, then you can talk to somebody about getting that, or you can go look for something else. You're not a tree, you're not stuck there. Same with relationships, same with kids. Right? If you're not happy with what your kids do, if you're just always like, oh, all you do is sit around and watch TV, all you do is just play video games, all you do is whatever it is, you can't control the exact actions that your kids are doing, but you can control two things: how you react to it, how you act upon that, and your attitude about it. If you come negative and nagging, kids, we were kids once. How's the reaction going to be? It's going to be, I'm going to tune you out. I'm going to roll my eyes. I'm going to just, whatever you say, the opposite is true. I'm going to do the opposite of whatever you say, right? Because we know kids, we were once kids. That's how we were. So what's your attitude about it? How do you react to it? If you say, hey, you know what? Let's do something else today. Why don't we go? What would you like to do? Is there a movie you'd like to see? Is there an activity? Is there a nearby, event or activity that you would like to go to that we can go together? Right, so you're just kind of thinking outside a little bit, right? It's how you're questioning them to kind of get them to make the answers. So if you're not happy with like the path your child is on, so for example, my oldest, she just graduated high school. We talked about that, and she was thinking about enrolling in an esthetician school. She hasn't done it yet. I mean, she's working though. She's making money. So she's working, but I don't know if that's her dream. I don't know if her dream is to work where she's working. In fact, I know that's not, right? It's just kind of nice for the time being. So instead of me nagging her, saying, why aren't you doing this? I thought you were going to do that. If I were to say that, the reaction I would get back from her is going to be, well, right, it's going to be excuse after excuse after excuse, or it's going to be, well, this is what I'm doing. You don't know my plans, right? Whatever I'm going to say the opposite's going to be said or happen. So I need to be tactful about it. So instead of nagging about it, I actually said, hey, do you know this building over here? And she said, yeah, I know that building. Did you know that everyone in that building are self-employed in the esthetician area? Like they're either cutting hair or they're doing nails or they're doing facials or different things like that. They're all independent. They all kind of work for themselves in there. Wouldn't that be a cool thing to do? Wouldn't that be cool to rent a room there and you have your clients come into you there? Wouldn't that be really cool? Like this building is actually pretty cool. It's actually built for small business, self-employed people to rent rooms out all in this field. So basically somebody, like a customer, could walk in there, find someone that specializes in just nails, and then find someone that specializes in just eyebrows, and then find someone that specializes in facial masks. And it's really cool. Someone can go in there and go to 3 different people for 3 different things, or they go in for for whatever it is that they want. And so I was kind of telling her about that and getting her thinking like, oh, that would be, yeah, I know that building. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So my reaction, my action plan for her is to get her to think like, wouldn't this be cool? Wouldn't that be awesome if you were doing something like this? And her attitude towards that was a lot more on the positive side. Like, oh yeah, that's right. I could do something like that, right? So that kind of got her thinking versus me just nagging her. It's going to be a negative answer back from her. So what I'm saying is, if I'm not happy with the choices that my kids are on the path of making, I'm in control of that, right? I'm not going to say, oh, I'm not going to compare my kids to other kids. I'm not going to say, hey, why aren't you like so-and-so? I'm not going to compare them. I don't want different kids. I want my kids. But if I want to guide them properly, I got to think outside the box a little bit on how to talk to them. Because I know if I talk to them one way, I'll get a different reaction, right? So that's what I'm kind of saying, right? Is the grass isn't always green on the other side. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's where you water, where you put your attention, where you put your focus. I'm gonna guide it a little different way because I'm talking about the grass is greener, and that sounds very plush and nice and everything like that. One of my mentors, he had a really good example, kind of a different way, but he said all of us walk through life carrying a bag of shit, right? And we all know, and we all have different phases, right? Sometimes the shit gets replaced with other types of shit that we have to go through, and it's not always pleasant. But think about you got a bag over your shoulder that you're lugging around, like a garbage bag, but it's full of shit, right? Full of the shit you're going through. And it's not always nice, right? When we're all going through different shit. And you walk into a building, you walk into a room, everybody walks in there, right? 20 people walk in, all carrying a bag of shit over their shoulder. And everyone throws it down on the table. And they tell you, all right, you can get rid of your bag of shit right now. You have no burdens right now. Throw it on the table. However, when you leave this room, and you have to leave this room, we all have to carry a bag of shit with us. It's just life, right? Every day, all day is not going to be butterflies and rainbows. We have to carry some shit with us. Things happen. It's just life. So you can go through here, open up every bag of shit, and take whatever one you want out of here. So you open up the first bag of shit, you smell it, you look at it and say, I don't want this. You go to the next one, you go to the next one. If you were to go through the whole room's bag of shit, guess what you're going to leave with? The same one you came in with. Because it's just not that bad compared to everybody else. Because you know how to handle it. You're given that bag of shit because you know how to go through. You know how to handle it. Now, you might not have the answers now, but you'll get the answers. And it's hard sometimes. Sometimes the bag of shit just feels heavier than other days. And that sucks. And I get it. And that's life. And guess what? Some days it's going to be pretty light. Some days it's going to be pretty light. So what I'm saying is that phrase, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. And it's not bad to go seek for that. There's nothing wrong with trying to improve your situation or your life or others. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with seeking it. But the grass will only get greener where you water it, though. Wherever you put your time and effort in, that's where it's going to be the best. Like I said, you want a better relationship? Focus on your relationship. You want a closer bond with your significant other? You got to focus on it. If I feel like in a week, me and my wife have drifted a little bit because maybe I had a really busy week. I was full of appointments. My phone was going off like crazy. Talking with clients, talking with my assistant. Days, the whole week might just be bananas. And she might have a whole week too, where she got the 2 kids, she's dealing with them, putting them in activities, cleaning the house, taking care of everything around the house, cooking, all that stuff. Like maybe she just feels defeated and we both kind of drift in a week where I can tell. And that's the perfect time for me on a Friday to say, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Should we go out? Should we go up to the mountains? Should we get a babysitter? Go on a nice date? Want to go to a comedy show? Want to go grab a dinner? and then we can come back together. I'm going to water our relationship. I'm not going to let us keep drifting apart and drifting apart, drifting apart. I'm going to water that so we get back together and remember why we do what we do. Man, thank you, honey, for everything you did in the house. Like, man, that house when I came home today, it smelled so good. It felt like I could feel the cleanliness when I walked into the house. Like, I'll tell her that, and she'll grab me and she'll hug me and say, "Thank you so for all the hard work you do for our family." Like, we drifted apart for a week because we were just so busy, and then we come together at the end, and make our relationship even stronger. So, but I'm not gonna think, oh, the grass is greener, we're drifting apart, maybe I need to find another partner. No, there's no one else I want to be with. I'm not gonna go find another partner. I'm gonna water our relationship, our partnership, to make it even stronger. All right, hope that makes sense. I hope that I give you guys some tips to help kind of lighten the load of your bag of shit. Okay? Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.